All right, good afternoon, Corpus Christi. We are here with the family of Melissa Lucio, which a documentary has been publicized on Hulu, Amazon Prime, and you can catch them on the Facebook page, Free Melissa Lucio. She's actually a death row inmate right now on standby for execution here in the state of Texas, and we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit with the film director and the family. Just wanted to get with you guys. Who do I talk to first?
I'll start.
How's it going? Can you tell us a little bit why your guys are here today?
Sure. Well, my name's Abe Bonowitz. I run a group called Death Penalty Action, and we're here in support of the family of Melissa Lucio and in support of the film, The State of Texas versus Melissa. And we believe that if people were to watch that film, then they would have information to decide whether there's doubt about the guilt, or I believe Melissa Lucio is actually innocent. And what's important about why we're here now is because on April 27th she's scheduled to be executed, and we're unsure if the legal teams are going to be able to stop this, which is why we're also doing the grassroots organizing now, and that's why we're here. We're going all over the state on this trip. We've been down in Cameron County and Harlingen, and we're on our way to San Antonio and then Houston and Dallas. And
so basically you're just doing a big media tour across the state of Texas.
Media tour across the state to let people know, watch the film, and then if you have any doubt at all, call our elected officials. And that's what we're doing. We're looking for activists all over the state. We've got flyers, stacks of flyers to give people. You can see we put them on the cars here. And we've got yard signs and banners like this. And the point is that we just want to spread, here's the buttons, we want to spread the message.
Just let me get a brief background of kind of why we're here today on the crime.
Well, we're going to do that. One of these people will do that. I'm just sharing what we're about is building awareness on this case. We want people to go to freemelissalucio.org, and that's where you can find out more, sign the petition, make a donation, all of that stuff. Okay.
Let's go ahead.
So much.
We'll get with the film director and the family. We'll get with the family right after this. But
it's a blueprint for innocence.
It's a blueprint for innocence. Yes.
Absolutely.
So, I see this is the banner here, freemelissalucio.org, and we're going to talk a little bit with the film director. What was your name?
Sabrina Van Tassel.
Sabrina Van Tassel. Thank you very much for putting this film together. I actually seen the documentary. Can you tell us a little bit about the facts of this case, of why you guys are here today asking the public to watch it?
Well, Melissa Lucio has been on death row for 15 years. In 2007, she was sentenced to death for allegedly killing her daughter, her 2-year-old daughter, Mariah. When I came into this case, when I started, investigating the case, I realized that, there was no witnesses whatsoever, not one single witness who had ever seen her being violent at all. She had a coerced interrogation, I think 6 hours, where she was just pushed basically, and she admitted to the bruising because, she just wanted to get out of it. It was kind of like a torture style, interrogation. But she never admitted to murder, and basically she was only sentenced to death based on that.
Right.
There's no other evidence in this.
Okay.
So when I came into the case and I started, investigating, I was like, how is it possible that, someone be on death row with no evidence, right?
Right.
And I started reading, just thousands of pages long, of court documents, of CPS. She was monitored by Child Protective Services because she had too many children. She was a mother of 14 and she lived in poverty. So she was monitored by them, and not once did they say that she was abusive. And actually, her son John can tell you she was not an abusive mother. She was someone who actually was not only nonviolent with her children, but nonviolent with adults. I mean, she is a nonviolent person. She's someone who doesn't fight back. That's not her personality. And so, I investigated, thinking, okay, what happened? And while I investigated, I found out, and it wasn't hard to find that out, right? That, her the district attorney in her case, Armando Villalobos, served 13 years for bribery and corruption. He was bribing judges, bribing attorneys. He, would basically take money from people who had money to get them out of, whatever, they were in. And he would, try to be reelected on poor people and getting them death sentences. And that's what happened with Melissa. So he used her case to be reelected. What's more is the court-appointed attorney in Melissa's case went to work for the DA right after the trial and still works at the DA's office today.
So just real quick, how did the little girl die?
She died, we know that she died falling down the stairs.
She fell down the stairs.
She
Okay.
fell down the stairs, and she had a blunt force head trauma. And, she was covered in bruises. And, those bruises were a result of the head injury that she got. And, that was actually something that, was determined by one of the forensic experts. I mean, we have two forensic experts in the film and in this story who say the exact opposite.
Do you feel like she's going to get out of this position that she's in as far as, the death row? Is she in Livingston or?
When the film came out, there were just so many people who saw it, and, they saw, how, what an egregious miscarriage of justice this was. And, I thought she was going to get out. And in 2019, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals, which is the most conservative court of appeals in the country, reversed her conviction unanimously, saying she should just, get a new trial or just, be released immediately. The state of Texas appealed that decision. They went back. 17 judges this time, had to basically settle. 7 said yes, 7 said no, and 3 didn't say anything. And basically, she went back on death row. We are shocked to learn today that she has an execution date less than 90 days after the Supreme Court of, the U.S. Supreme Court, decided not to hear the case. And the only explanation that we have really is that, what the film shows, which is the intense corruption in Cameron County and the incredible conflict of interest at, the DA's office.
Right. Where
you have her ex-court, appointed attorney now at the DA's office,
So this doesn't have anything to do with the Nueces County District Attorney. This is Cameron County
this
District.
Is Cameron County.
Right. And you guys are just going around spreading the word.
We're going around because, let me tell you something. You're talking about, yes, it happened in Cameron County, but let me tell you about a case that happened here in Corpus. What about Carlos de Luna? Executed in 1989. And now we all know that, they got the wrong Carlos. You want to make sure, if you're going to execute someone, that you execute a person who's actually guilty. And in Melissa's case, everything, stands out that she didn't do this.
Okay.
So you want to be absolutely sure.
So.
And, the U.S. judicial system is based on reasonable doubt. This case represents what, reasonable doubt.
What do you say to those that say, hey, she was convicted by a jury of her peers? How do you rebuttal that?
Well, everybody's entitled to a fair trial, right?
Right.
Whether you're black, brown, rich, poor. That should be the case. The fact of the matter is that when you're brown and poor, you don't have a defense. The jury never heard her 2 young sons, testify that, they saw their little sister fall down a flight of stairs. They never saw that. They were never allowed to hear any of the kids' testimonies. None of the kids were allowed to testify in her trial, and she had 14 children.
Why was that?
Why was that?
Okay. Let me go ahead and talk to. You're the son.
I'm the son of Melissa Lucio.
And you are the sister, and you are
The niece.
Okay. So if you're the son, how do you feel about what's taking place with your mother?
It's not so much how I feel, it's what I know. The corruption being done down there in Cameron County, being close to the borders, it's gonna keep on happening. It's not gonna stop. The way I feel about it, I'm hurt. I'm devastated, overwhelmed, tired. I'm out here speaking for my mother. We're making things move. I love my mother. I see her every weekend besides these weekends that we're going to be doing what we're doing for her. I travel hundreds of miles, hours. We drive 8 hours that way, 8 hours back to the valley to see her every Saturday. I love this woman. I know she's innocent. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing for her today if she wasn't innocent. She's a great mother of all 14 of us, besides the twins that she was pregnant of and gave birth to while she was in prison. But she's a wonderful mother. She's not a perfect one, but she's a great mother, and she was not the abusive person they made her seem. Drug abuse is a different story. Being neglectful is a different story. But as per a murderer that they're making her seem, she has no criminal history whatsoever. Never been in jail, and she's been convicted today for capital murder for the death of my baby sister, which is not.
What day is the execution date?
April 27th.
April 27th. Let me ask you a question. I know that there was a sister that was involved inside the documentary who kind of took a different stance against.
Yes, sir.
This.
Yes,
Can
sir.
you elaborate what happened there?
Alexandra Marie Lucio, that was my favorite sister at one point in life, and me and her were like this. We were like peanut butter or milk and cereal. You can't go without it.
Right.
One another, and I loved her. I still love her dearly, but she knows what she's guilty of today. She admitted on this documentary, the State of Texas versus Melissa Lucio. She confessed it. Not only did she confess, but other siblings confessed and admitted the abuse that was being done by Alexandra to my baby sister Mariah Elizabeth Alvarez. For the reason being, she didn't consider her sister because she didn't know who she was, and she wasn't from the same biological father. She just didn't like her, Mariah. She never will. She'll tell you today that she doesn't like her and she don't have feelings for her because she doesn't know her. Which it doesn't matter if you do or not. I got little twin brothers that we just barely got in touch with today. I don't know them and I love them unconditionally, and I can't wait to meet them once we get back home.
Let me get with Melissa Lucio's sister. What's your name?
Sonia.
Sonia, can you tell me a little bit about your sister, and do you believe that she did this?
No, I don't believe she did it. I know she did not do this. My sister's a beautiful soul. She's a wonderful mother. She always has been. She's shown a lot of love towards her children. This is just unbelievable. I just can't believe this is happening. A mother of 14 with no history of abuse, with no history of criminal record, given death, danger to society. How do you explain that? She got the worst. She didn't get 5 years, 10 years, 99 years. She got death. Death. Who does that to a mother of 14 with no history? She had CPS in her life for years. There was never any history of abuse, no history of being violent. And this is so devastating because we're so close to April 27th. My sister's innocent. I want to refer back to Alejandra. She's my niece and I love her dearly. And Selena as well, the one doing the TikToks.
Mm-hmm. So there's a TikTok page out there that's kind of, what are they?
She's very persistent. And I feel she's very persistent because now people are pointing fingers at her.
Right.
They're saying charge the daughters. Charge the daughters. So they're constantly making TikTok videos every day. They're trying to save their butts. They're trying to blame their mother. Now they hate their mother. At one time they loved their mother. You know, Alejandra told me that she punched Mariah in the face. A 2-year-old. Who does that?
Right.
Selena told me she would hit Mariah because her mom and her dad were always in the bathroom doing drugs.
Wow.
That's where I believe the abuse came from. The bite mark. There was a bite mark. They took my sister to get a mold of her teeth the following day when she was charged. They never used that bite mark in court. So that led me to believe that it could have been Selena's or Alex.
How many children does she have?
14.
14 children.
14 children.
And you know, it's very easy as a single mother. She was a single mother, or did she have a husband?
She had a partner.
She had a partner, okay. And she had a partner, and it's very hard to control 14 kids that actually know what's actually going on. And I know that for, you know, I have 3 children, and I still don't, you know, and that 14, that's 11 more.
Yes.
But with that being said, I want you to tell me, give a message out to, I know that there's some people that you have to talk to because there's only a handful of people that have the power to make this stop. Who are those people, and what would you tell them?
That is the District Attorney Louis Science in Bronzeville. He refuses to watch the documentary. He stands by his decision. Greg Abbott. Greg Abbott is pro-choice. We want him to watch the documentary. There's a lot of doubt in that documentary. As you can see, you watched it. There's a lot of evidence that was left out. We're asking to give us another trial. Let us help prove her innocence, because she is innocent. She's innocent. They're sending a mother, a loving mother of 14, to death, and that is unexplainable. Louis Science can do the right thing and reverse that. He can do the right thing for Cameron County and stop all the corruption that is happening in Cameron County. Armando Villalobos, as been mentioned so many times, he is now serving time for bribery and extortion, and I believe that's what happened in my sister's case. People were bought.
Okay.
People were bought. Her attorney, one more thing, her attorney, Peter Gilman, we went to visit him after the trial, and we asked him, how do we fight CPS to get her rest of her children back? He told us, leave them there. Let them get lost in the system. A good attorney would have said, fight for them. That's all you have of your sister. And he didn't. He joined the district attorney's office right after my sister's trial.
Okay. Now, let me go ahead and talk to the niece real quick, and then we'll get back to the film director. What's your name?
Vanessa Escamilla.
Vanessa, can you tell me how you feel about your aunt being on death row right now, and what would you like to say?
Broken. My aunt is very loving. She wouldn't hurt a soul. She wouldn't hurt a fly. It's hard. It's very hard because our family is torn apart. For 15 years we've been separated. I once had a big family, and now I stand side by side with one cousin. And we're here trying to fight for my aunt Melissa Lucio, and we're trying to bring her home, and we hope that people can sign the petition and see the truth that yes, she was poor, and yes, she had her habits. She is not a murderer, and I want people to know that, and I want people to see that, and we will continue to fight, and we will continue to go where we need to go and speak the truth for her.
Okay. Now let's get back to the. Thank you very much, and then we'll get back to the film director real quickly. Any other information you want to put out there as far as from a film director standpoint? I know this is a family, but from a film director standpoint, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are that everything that could have possibly gone wrong in a case went wrong in Melissa's case. Like everything. From the beginning to the end. No investigation. The police get there, they arrest her, immediately they think it's her, they think it's her, and no investigation whatsoever. She was offered 30 years. They offered her a plea deal. They said, okay, you did it, 30 years. She said no, she gets the death penalty. I mean, how? I mean, if she's such a danger, how do you go from 30 years to the death penalty? I mean, there's got to be something in the middle, don't you think? Is
she the only woman on death row right now, or?
No, there are a few women on death row, but okay. I don't think there's another case like hers,
right,
where there's so much doubt. I mean, question marks are all over this case, and that's the reason why we have the Innocence Project backing her up. I mean, they are right now doing everything that they can. Not only the Innocence Project, but Cornell University and like the best lawyers in the country, because this case is not, it's just cannot be, to have so many question marks.
How did this documentary become so publicized? I mean, I'm talking about a big streaming platform like Hulu.
Well, it premiered at Tribeca.
Okay.
And it was selected in 35 film festivals. It won 13 awards. It was bought all over the world. It's on Hulu. It will be on Discovery in Latin America, all over Latin America on the 24th of this month. It's in Europe. It's in Australia. It's in Africa. It's everywhere. And in a way, I'll tell you why. Because Melissa represents what it is to be wrongly convicted. She represents wrongful conviction, and in a country like the US, where you have so many people who are wrongfully convicted, I mean, it's just you have to just abolish the death penalty altogether. There's no question. I mean, if you are, and I'm a firm opponent of the death penalty, but if you are going to execute someone, you need to be absolutely sure you got the right person. And when, there's so many, even the courts are so divided about Melissa, how can you execute her? She's become an icon, I think, throughout the world about what that means. And another thing is that, the death penalty targets the poor, targets the black, targets the brown. And Melissa was the ideal culprit. She checked all the boxes of, you know, a poor mother of 14 with a drug addiction, and just like, let's get rid of her. And, you know, a life that basically, you know, doesn't matter. That's what it is.
Well, thank you guys very much for stopping by Corpus Christi on y'all's media tour across Texas. One last time, can you tell people how to watch, what the name of this documentary is, and how to
It's
watch?
called The State of Texas versus Melissa. It's on Hulu, on Amazon, on Google, I mean, everywhere.
It's on Google, it's everywhere. The State of Texas versus Melissa. I'm here with the director and the family. You guys go watch the film. Please tell us your thoughts in the comment section, and good luck on
Follow
y'all.
us on freemelissalucio.org and sign the petition. We need you.
Innocent woman on death row. Please, free my mom. Please.
Thank you guys very much for stopping by. I'll keep an eye on this case. April 27th is execution date. And once again, good luck.
Thank you.
Yes.